in my YouTube video channel of Engineering Graphics and Design subject. Myself Aarti Patel from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. In this session, we are going to start the new topic of Orthographic Projection chapter, which is Sectional Orthographic Projection. Now, what is Orthographic Projection and how to take Orthographic Projection? That is, we already studied in previous sessions of Orthographic Projection. So, in this session, we are going to start sectional orthographic projection. First, let us understand why sectional orthographic projection are used. To understand inner details and materials of the complex object, sectional orthographic projection is must required. Now, to get the inside detail of the object, it is required to cut by the imaginary cutting plane, which is parallel to principal planes passing through the object where the inside details are required. This imaginary cutting plane is known as sectional plane or cutting plane. Next, let us understand sectional orthographic projection with example. Here, figure A shows the object with cutting plane. Figure B shows the portion between the cutting plane and observer is removed, and then the remaining portion of the object is viewed by the observer. Draw the projection of the cut object. Portion of the cut object is known as the sectional view as shown in figure B. Here you can see this is remove portion in between observer and cutting plane, and this is remaining portion of the object which is viewed by the observer from front direction. So this is known as sectional view. Out of three principal views, front view, top view and side view, one view is drawn sectional and remaining views are drawn as if the object is not cut. Other views are not affected by taking section in one view. Cutting plane line is shown in non-sectional view. To locate the section plane, and arrow are drawn to show the direction of view. Here you can see cutting plane line. Here you can see cutting plane line. Cutting plane line drawn as a center line. Line small dash, line small dash. Only the end of the line is drawn thick. And here this arrow indicate direction of view. Now in sectional orthographic projection, one thing always remember, the portion of the object cut by the cutting plane and touching the cutting plane is shown by hatching or sectional line in the sectional view. Here you can see these lines indicate hatching or section line where the cutting plane touching the object or cut the material by the cutting plane. Next, let us understand instruction for hatching or section lines in sectional orthographic projection. Section lines are always thinner than the object line. Generally, section lines are drawn at 45-degree angle. Distance between two section lines are 2 to 3 mm. Generally, hidden lines are not drawn in sectional view. Next, let us understand types of cutting or section plane. Now, there are three types of cutting or section plane. First, cutting plane parallel to principal vertical plane. Second, cutting plane parallel to principal horizontal plane. And third, cutting plane parallel to principal profile plane. Next, let us understand one by one cutting plane with example. First cutting plane parallel to principal vertical plane. When an object is cut by a cutting plane which is parallel to principal vertical plane, then the real or true shape of the section is observed in front view or elevation, and cutting or section plane will be seen as a cutting or section line in top view or plan. Here you can see this object is cut by vertical cutting plane, which is parallel to vertical plane. So the section appear in front view and cutting line of this cutting plane is drawn in top view or plan. When we will take section in front view, then remove the portion between observer and cutting plane. So here you can see the remaining portion of this 3D object, and here this surface is cut by this cutting plane or touching the object. So here we need to draw section or hatching line. Next, let us understand sectional orthographic projection of front view and top view with reference to XY. Here, top view drawn above XY line and sectional front view drawn below XY line. So, here I have applied third angle projection method. Here you can see the top view is not affected by the cutting plane. Here only you need to show the cutting plane line as a center line, and the end of this cutting plane line is drawn thick with observer arrows for front view. Now the direction of arrows for front view is upward direction. Here you can see in sectional front view the hidden line of this rectangle slot is become visible after taking section, and these two surfaces are cut by the vertical cutting plane or touching the object. So here we need to draw section or hatching line at 45-degree angle, and the distance between two section and hatching line is 2 to 3 mm. Next, let us understand second cutting plane parallel to principal horizontal plane. When an object is cut by a cutting plane which is parallel to principal horizontal plane, then the real or true shape of the section is observed in top view or plan, and the cutting or section plane will be seen as a cutting or section plane line in front view or elevation. Here you can see this object is cut by horizontal cutting plane which is parallel to horizontal plane. So section appear in top view and cutting line of this cutting plane is drawn in front view or elevation. So here front view or elevation is not affected by this horizontal cutting plane. Now when we will observe this object after taking section by horizontal cutting plane, then we need to remove the portion between observer and cutting plane. So here you can see the remaining portion of this 3D object after taking section by horizontal cutting plane. Here this two rectangle surface is cut by horizontal cutting plane or touching the object. So here we need to draw section or hatching line. Next, let us understand orthographic projection drawing of front view and sectional top view with reference to XY. Here you can see the front view is drawn above XY line and the top view is drawn below XY line. So here I have applied first angle projection method. Here front view is not affected by taking section by horizontal cutting plane. Here only we need to locate cutting plane line as a center line with observer arrows for sectional top view. Now for top view, the direction of arrow is downward. In sectional top view, you can see here the inner surface of this hole is cut by this horizontal cutting plane. So, after taking section, this hidden surface of this hole is become visible, and this two surface is cut by horizontal cutting plane or touching the object. So here we need to draw section or hatching line at 45-degree angle, and the distance between section or hatching line is 2 to 3 mm. Next, let us understand third cutting plane parallel to principal profile plane. When an object is cut by a cutting plane which is parallel to profile plane, then the real or true shape of the section is observed in side view. Cutting or section plane will be seen as a cutting or section plane line in top view and front view both. Here you can see this 3D object is cut by profile cutting plane which is parallel to profile plane. Here the direction of observer for right hand side view is given. When we will take section by profile cutting plane, then section appear in right hand side view, and in top view and front view we need to draw cutting plane line. Here when we will take projection from right hand side view direction after taking section by profile cutting plane, then the portion between observer and cutting plane is assumed to be removed, and we need to draw projection of remaining portion of the object. Here you can see the remaining portion of the object or section object after taking section by profile cutting plane. Next, let us understand front view, top view and right hand side view of this 3D object with reference to XY. Here, front view drawn above XY line, top view drawn below XY line, and right hand side view drawn left side of front view. So here I have applied first angle projection method. Here you can see the top view and front view is not affected by section or cutting plane. Here we need to locate only cutting plane line as a center line with observer arrows for right hand side view. In sectional right hand side view, the hidden line of this rectangle slot is become visible after taking section, and these two surfaces are cut by this cutting plane or touching the surface of the object. So here we need to draw section or hatching line at 45-degree angle, and the distance between two section and hatching line is 2 to 3 mm. So this is the end of this session. See you soon in next coming video lecture. Thank you.